Hi, I'm Vicky. I love books and enjoy reading. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is to read. If I go for a run, I listen to an audiobook. In my leisure moments, I read whilst enjoying some good music. Are you an avid reader, or you're not learning how to read? Maybe you used to enjoy reading, but somehow it has become a thing of the past. Come on this journey with my guests and I as we dive into various books and themes these books talk about. Every week, I speak to various authors who are behind life-transforming books, as well as promote various stakeholders within the publishing industry. The Kiddie Zone segment on the show is meant specifically to ignite reading interest in your child. Watch the Writer's Blog on this station this and every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. and on Sunny 88.7 FM every Saturday at 1 p.m. This program is powered by Reveal Multimedia and supported by The Writer's Blog. Read, write, indulge your mind. Hello and welcome to the Writer's Blog talk show right here on this channel. We are coming to you live from La Palm Royal Beach Hotel right here in Accra. Remember, it is the love season, and so if you're looking for a very serene environment, good food, a very good environment for just the two of you, you know what I'm saying, just you and your special someone, make sure you're coming here. Number on your screen now, make your call and have your reservations made right here. We are also proudly powered by Reveal Multimedia. Now, Reveal Multimedia is an outfit that is slowly becoming a voice for authors. We are into editorial services, proofreading, editing, also PR for authors. If you've launched your book and you're looking for that place to promote your works, get in touch with us. 0552 535 036. Media partners, Sunny FM, Sunny TV. We are also supported by Holy Ever After, Brad Advertising, Anyadu, Ako Books Audio, Cody's Fashion and Beauty, GH, and of course, Side Farm. I am Vicky Amo. I have an awesome guest today. I love her works. I love her spirit. She has a sweet spirit, and I love her as a spiritual mother. Today, we are going to be discussing from her book, Crossroads. When we are back from this break, we'll get to talking to her. Stay with us. Cody's Fashion and Makeover is a one-stop shop for all your beauty needs. Our services include makeup, nail art, pedicure, manicure, braids, wake up, hairstyling, and so much more. Our fashion outlet churns out a trendy unisex African print designs for every occasion. So go on, wear Africa, wear Ghana. Locate us at Second Link Chapel Square, Sakomono. Contact us on 0545 988 607 or 0302 985 409 or 0504 227 113. At Cody's Fashion and Makeover, styling you is our hobby.
Ako Books Audio makes African books accessible and available to everyone, anytime, anywhere, on a wide variety of mobile devices, including computers, tablets, and of course, mobile phones. My name's Amma Dadson, and I'm founder of Ako Books Audio, a digital streaming platform, an African spoken word experience provider. We transform African books into exciting and engaging audio experiences that make reading affordable, convenient, and fun. We offer readers a library of top-notch African authors and literary voice talent through listening to audiobooks and audio programming. With over 300 titles in over 20 categories, including fiction, biographies, and children's books, we aim to be the world's largest African audio digital library, promoting audio literacy in English, French, and African languages.
Asante from Anyadu. Anyedu is a children's company, a multimedia children's company that wants to help parents to raise successful and blessed kids. We believe that all children have potential and it has to be unleashed. So we are helping parents to unleash this potential, and especially for us as Africans, we believe that this is our time. This is when we can make an impact in this world. We want to raise a new generation of strong, confident, bold African children who would change the world, change the narrative of an African in the world. We are starting from Ghana. We are hoping that we will be able to reach the whole of Africa and let the children know that, look, they can do anything that they want to do because through Christ, all things are possible.
Welcome back. This is the Writer's Blog Talk Show. Let's take our quote for today. We're taking our quote from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 to 8. And that is, love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. 6 says, love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves or perseveres. And verse 8a says, love never fails. This book, Crossroads, by Mama Talatu Bako, is about love. Very fantastic book indeed, and I'm so blessed to have her in the studio with me today. Let me just give you a gist about her. Talatu Bako is a founding partner of the Lagos Rema Foundation for Leadership Resource Development, a non-profit organization that serves as a strategy hub for nations. She currently serves as the Deputy CEO at the organization and Director of the Family and Future Development. She is a seasoned counselor who brings her wealth of experience to bear on her work with children, teens, premarital counseling of intending couples, and marital counseling for married couples. For the past 40 years, she has been committed to training and development, as well as mentoring, a very passionate believer of women's development. She has created mentoring and leadership platforms for women of all ages and backgrounds. Well, she is also an author of several literary works, including Poetic Expressions, Kingdom Series, Kingdom Husband, Kingdom Wife, Kingdom Woman, Dream Woman, You Hurt Me So Bad. I want to read that book. And of course, just to mention a few, right about now, her latest published work of Christian fiction, Crossroads. She is such an amazing woman. Papa. So good. Good afternoon to you, Mami. It's always a joy to have you.
Good afternoon, Vicky. Thank you very much for having me.
Wonderful. So this is really amazing, quite huge. How long did it take you to write this one?
It took me years, maybe 3 decades.
Oh, wow.
Actually, by the time it came out, it had been brewing 3 decades. Actually, I started writing when I was just about a few weeks pregnant with my 3rd child. But, I would write. I finished the first, should I say the first draft in 2 weeks.
Okay.
But over the years, I would get discouraged. Oh, I'm not a writer. Oh, I don't know English. Oh, I don't have the right words, I'll dump it somewhere and then pick it up again someday, somewhere. The last time I did that, I had done up to, maybe over 10 manuscripts, but then I had it published. No, yeah, so I gave it to a publisher actually.
Okay.
I had gotten somebody and typed it all up because I wrote everything. So I have these 5 exercise books, which I wrote everything down.
With a pen.
Yes.
Wow.
So over the years, I would.
Wow.
First, it was pieces, sheets of paper, and then eventually, excuse me. Eventually, I did everything in a book, and in exercise books. So I have my exercise books there. So when sometimes as I go, I say, no, this is not right. Then so adding, subtraction, addition and subtraction.
Okay.
Over the years, it took me, should I say, like 27, 28 years to really finish it up. But finally, by the time I launched it, was 30 years. Actually, 30 years.
But this is not the complete book. I know there's a part 2, part 3,
yes.
and all of that. So tell us.
Actually, it's up to part 4.
It's up to part 4.
Yes.
And is it cooking? Is the second part cooking?
Very much. Second part is ready. Third is ready. Is the fourth that I still have to work on.
Wow.
But these 2 are ready for publishing, but they need to go to my editor first.
For all the punctuations and things to be put in place. Just trust the Writer's Block Talk Show right here to bring you the second part and the third and the fourth of this one. But the central theme for this, what is the theme around this particular
Central
book?
theme, it's personal development, sexual purity, and faith.
Yeah. So the main characters, Sadiq,
Sadiq and Zeenat.
So let me just read the synopsis by you, dear viewer. It says, Zeenat, caught between her love for Sadiq and for God, is faced with the heart-rending dilemma of choosing between the two. Overwhelmed with sensual desires for Sadiq, she cannot ignore the pricking of her conscience that compels her to aspire to a moral code of kingdom ethics. She struggles to discover her true identity and the purpose of her life, overshadowing by her need for approval at all costs, even when it is to the detriment of her life. Besides, in a realm beyond the ordinary, she must contend with the treachery and fury of a horde of sinister forces unleashed against her. Zeenat is indeed at a crossroads. Which path really is she going to choose? And we are in a love month, Mama Talatu, and we have a lot of young people finding themselves in this situation just like Zeenat did. So in the story, he talked about how Zeenat upholds her spirituality, her principles, her values, and finally falling in love, or finding herself falling in love with Sadiq. In our time, there seems to be so much pressure on young folks to find a man. What do you think contributes to this fact?
Peer pressure. More than ever before, there is a lot of peer pressure because as we have especially social media magnifies this because you hear somebody's story, you see pictures of people that you aspire to look like, you think you should have the same kind of life they have, but this is just social media. You hear what they want you to hear, you see what they want you to see. And many times we make so-called role models, influencers, whose inner confusions and battles that they're fighting with, you don't know, you don't know what they're going through, but they just present the front and you don't know. And you think, oh, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, but that person has a better life, that person is enjoying their life and I'm not. And you just focus on the surface without knowing what is underneath. And in the same way, because we want to belong, there's this need to belong. So if you have a group of friends or you've made, you have Facebook friends, and this is the way they are going because you want to belong, and there's that need to want to belong because I think it's innate that we want a support group. It's kind of a support group.
Yeah.
They believe in you. They agree with you. They may not know what you are going through, but they may have gone through some, and you think they understand you better. So of course, because we have this need to belong, we have this need to be approved by others. So what they do, we also want to do because it makes us feel that we have a group that likes us, that is there for us, that supports us. So there's peer pressure.
Okay.
And you don't know where that peer is coming from. And many people hide. All of us, most of us, all of us, most of us present a mask, what we want others to see. But you see, the mask we present is the mechanisms that we have been able to maybe use to cope with the battles we're going through inside. So we present what we want people to see. But that's not the real me. But I present that me because I'm trying to cope with some crisis, some identity problems, issues I have, some dysfunctional issues I have, and I present that, but that's not the real me. And you see, based on the different temperaments we have, we all have different makeups.
Yeah.
And so I am on this side of the spectrum, you're on this side of the spectrum. So the way you cope with life's issues will be different from the way I cope with life's issues. But if I don't have confidence in myself, I don't know who I am, I think I would want to gravitate towards the way you cope with issues and the way you do things because I don't have confidence in who I am.
So peer pressure and lack of self-esteem.
Lack of self-esteem. And yes, especially teenagers every teenager goes through that phase of a lack of self-esteem. Every teenager goes through that phase of no confidence. I mean, because they're in transition. So I'm no more a child. I'm not yet an adult. So I'm in between. So I'm trying to find myself. I'm in my own world, but trying to find my footing. So if there's no self-esteem, anything that comes,
you embrace it.
That I think gives me a measure of some stability, I would grab it without thinking through first. But many times we don't think through the consequences of what we're about to do, the consequences of our thought patterns. And so depending, like I said, on our kind of temperament, the one who is the moody type, the one who is in their own, always in their own space, they're not people. We'll call it people friendly.
Those are the introverts, the melancholies.
Yes, the melancholies. But you see, even in that, you're not completely one temperament. You have all the temperaments in varying degrees. So the one that is dominant is the one that maybe people see easily. But you also have the others, and they also come in at one time or the other. So self-esteem, confidence, peer pressure, they kind of determine how we respond to peer pressure as young people.
Do you think that parental, or parents have a role to play in this one, in terms of upbringing and our background?
A great deal. You see, now think of the person who is already in that space of being a melancholic or even a phlegmatic, because they are the introverts. And you have a parent who does not understand you. You have a parent who is just strict authoritarian, doesn't care what you think or what you feel, but just does what they want you to do. This is how I want you to do it, and you must do it this way and no other way. And they believe they are the almighty, they know everything, and that is what they want, and that is what must be done. That is an authoritarian parent, and that kind of parent wounds a child. There are children that you can shout on them, and you can they're just,
not moved.
oh, they're not moved.
Yeah.
You can beat them 100 times. Maybe you start with the first one, it may hurt. The second one, by the third time, oh, it's not
used
beaten.
to it, yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And so you keep doing this, so you harden them the more. So parental upbringing, it's very important in especially young people being confident in who they are and then knowing who they are and just celebrating themselves. Because it's when I don't celebrate myself because I don't know who I am, what I have in me, and how much the one who made me has put inside of me, because I don't know all that. So I don't know me. If I don't know me, I have no stability. There's nothing to hang on to. So if I go, if the wind blows this way, I'll go with the wind.
Yeah.
If the flow is this way, I'll go with the flow. That kind of person, like the Bible says, you have no faith. You're just there. When the wind blows this way, you sway with the wind. When the wind blows that way. There's no stability. So you can't take that person seriously.
A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
Really, parental upbringing is very important.
Well, in the background here in this book, we see how Zeenat's, parents, the background, affected her so much. And I think she was determined to change the narrative in a way. When we are back from this break, we will go into details, the storyline, and how she step by step overcame or somewhat succumbed to the pressures of life. It is the Writer's Block Talk Show. I'm here with Mama Talatu Bako. Stay with us.
There are many who have gone to their graves with untold stories. Stories meant to change and transform lives. Don't let that happen to you. If a story isn't you, it has to come out. It must be told. Do you have an idea or a life-transforming story to share? Do you want to write a book but don't know how? Let the expert writers at Reveal Multimedia help you out. Are you a preacher with a desire to convert your sermons into books and other readable materials? Reveal Multimedia offers efficient and on-time audio-to-text transcription services at a very affordable price. We also transcribe interviews, documentaries, etc. We offer other editorial services such as editing and proofreading. That's not all. At Review, the author and his or her book are our priority. We are the brain behind the Writer's Blog, a book review program which airs on Sunny FM and Sunny TV, meant to celebrate authors and their works, as well as promote other stakeholders in the publishing industry. We offer PR services for authors with top-notch publicists who create thrilling stories, book reviews and commentaries, organize book launches and related events to provide mileage on all meaningful media platforms for the author and their works. Call on us today to help bring every creative idea to life. For more information, call, text or send a WhatsApp message to 0552 535 036 or 0208 428 322. Send us an email, revealmultimediagh@gmail.com. Facebook, Instagram and YouTube at Reveal Multimedia GH. Our website is www.revealmultimediagh.com. Reveal Multimedia. Dreams come alive.
Welcome back. This is the Writer's Block Talk Show right here on this channel. We're coming to you live from La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. Now, if I tell you what happens when we are off for a brick, you will just be thrilled. But remember, we are also supported by Concealo. If you need a place to get closer to your audience and, an outfit that will brand your company, your business, in terms of designs and concepts, that is the place to look. Get on your phones now and give them a call, 0542 482 827 or 0245 428 253. They're into book covers, designs, concepts, and all of that. You can also drop them an email, everything.concealo@gmail.com. If you look at all our arts, our flyers, it's all by kind courtesy Concealo. The Concealo Everything is Design. We are also supported by Ako Books Audio, which is the first premier publisher and digital distributor of Black African audiobooks. When you go on their website, that is www.app.akobooks.net, you're going to find a variety of audiobooks to listen to and to even choose from. I'm thinking that Mama Talatu must have this one done. Audiobooks. I mean, it would be so pleasant to listen to the entire story. Give them a call, 0244 012670 or 0202 040 176. Ako Books Audio, giving voice to global African authors. I'm here with Mama Talatu Bako. We are discussing from her book, Crossroads. And I tell you, this is not the only part. I think there's up to part 4. And we are looking forward to that. Now, the main character, or characters in the book, Sadiq and Zeenat. And one of the things that I realized concerning her life is her values, her principles, and how she struggled to uphold it as a Christian lady, brought up in the fear of the Lord. And we find it in our time now. It seems as if everything is normal, everything is okay. Sex is normal. Kissing and hugging is normal. Cohabiting is normal. Everything is normal now. So for the young Christian lady or man, he or she doesn't think there's anything wrong with it. Your thoughts?
So anytime I think about this, I think about Daniel and his 3 friends. Here they were young people, maybe 17, maybe 16, 17. I'm not sure they were up to 18, but they were that age where they were impressionable as maybe even senior teens. And they're uprooted from everything they know, everything they hold dear, to a totally paganistic culture. And they go in there, and Daniel is able to, with his friends, stand up to the culture, but respectfully. And Daniel knows that he cannot eat this kind of food, he cannot do this kind of thing, and he pleads with the keeper to please put them on a different regime. And I'm sure because they were already humble and respectful, he listened to them, even though he was afraid. But Daniel assured him that he should just give them this chance. He will see the difference. And he did.
He did.
So how could those young men have stood
their grounds
against the tide? So yes, I'm sure because of where they were coming from, they were brought up in the Torah. They were brought up to uphold their values that were held very, very strictly. And so those values had been poured into them, transferred to them. And it was like, oh, mother is not here, father is not here, there's no elder here. Looking behind, looking at me from
inspecting
behind. So,
if you're breaking it or not.
So I can do. But you see, it was a conviction of heart. A lot of us have gone through the motions of being born again. We have. If you want to be born again, come out, and we've gone up to the front, and they've been prayed over, and we have repeated some words. I don't know if we even understood the words we repeated, but. Assumed that we had accepted the Lord. Maybe somebody followed us up to ground us in the faith. Maybe not. So, you know, when pressures come, it tells you what is inside. So when you're squeezed, it's what is inside that comes out. So a lot of young people who have not really been grounded, because if you're grounded in Him, are you grounded in Him? You're grounded in His Word. It's the Word. The Word, Jesus said, the words that I speak to you, they are spirit and they are life. So if you have been grounded in those words, they would have bolstered you up and helped you to stand strong in what you believe. It's the convictions. It's our convictions, really. Many times, maybe it's our parents' convictions, and it has not really registered. And as our understanding has not yet been formed. But we've gone to church all our lives, and we have been dependent on the faith of our parents, and we have not. So many times maybe these temptations and these trials come to show us who we really are, what is really inside of us, what do we really believe, because you will be tested. The Bible tells us that God said He took the Israelites through the wilderness for 40 years to find out what was in them, whether they truly loved Him. That was all He took them through the wilderness for, because they could have gone into the promised land in 7 to 11 days. But He took them to try them, to test them. So it's not the hallelujah, praise the Lord, and you're jumping up and down in service, where you're singing, enjoying. Many times it's entertainment. But whether Jesus is really, truly formed in us is another matter. So many times we go through these to really show what convictions we have. Do we have convictions? We don't really sit down to think through these things because, it's young blood. You're just
going with the flow.
Yes. but we need to really sit down. So when you fail to plan, you've already planned to fail. So as young people, we need to really sit down and think about our lives. You think that, you have the rest of your life, this life, before you know it, you're 30 years old, you're maybe 20 years old, 25 years old, and then it's 30, and the years have just, where have the years gone? But like anything, you don't grow up, you're not born today and tomorrow you're a young man or a young woman. It takes a process. So in the same way, you're a young person now, you're going through a process of life. So you need to prepare for that place where you need to be in the future. And you need to begin to prepare today. That's why you really need to sit down, think about your life. What do I want out of this life? Where am I going? What do I have to take me where I want to go? You need to think about these things. Many times we don't.
Great questions indeed. Great questions. If you're a young person listening to us or you're a parent, you have a youngster, you need to help them understand these things. And really, parental guidance and care is what I have a feeling we are lacking.
Vicky, we bring up our children, we start teaching them from it. Some people even want their children to start writing now from 1 year, 2 years. But a child's dexterity is not formed till they're about 5 years. But parents, if you put your child in a school that is following the
curriculum,
development for a child. If by the time 1 term, 2 terms, the child has not started writing, then they begin to question to question your proficiency. But they don't even know what it's involved in the growth and development of a child. Now we start teaching these children, we want them to learn, we take them to creche, then we take them they go to nursery, then they go to kindergarten, then the primary, and then we do all that with what we call, this is really literacy and numeracy, because is it really education? Now we know that our children are going to get married someday, but right from when they're young, we need to begin to show them and prepare them for marriage, even before marriage, begin to prepare them for a love relationship, because it's a part of life that they will go through.
So someone will ask, how do you prepare?
But by according to their, because even between father and mother, you could use yourselves as example. They could ask you questions, and you could even preempt their asking these questions. When a child will see the father and mother maybe hugging and kissing on the cheek, or just touching one another, the child will begin to ask questions.
Yeah.
But if all the child sees is stone faces and quarrels and insults,
yeah,
what are you already teaching the child? You're already teaching the child that this is how to live in a relationship. So really,
I remember my little girl seeing our wedding photos, and she goes, "Oh, mommy, you were really slim. What happened?"
yes.
And then my husband goes, "It's because of you and you." And you
see, that's even when you begin the
and then
education.
they begin to ask.
Yes.
So what happened when you get pregnant? Then what happens? And then the conversation began. Wow. So when I grow up and before I find the man I want to marry, I'll get pregnant. I said yes. And what will happen? Then the conversation became broad. So like you said, the opportunities are always there.
Yeah.
It is up to us to
find parents and even teachers have the privilege of a lifetime to bring up a generation that will do exploits for God. But many times, I don't think we see it as a privilege. Sometimes we see it as a chore.
It's a burden.
When you begin to have a child, when you begin to have children, know that you're going to be at it for the next 20 years or more.
Yeah.
And it's hard work. Yeah. It is hard work bringing up a child. So don't even begin to explore with sex when you are not ready for marriage.
Yeah.
And even when you're ready for marriage, you don't explore sex with a boyfriend or with a fiance. You explore sex with a husband or a wife. That is the ideal. That is the right in the sight of God. When you look when you go through First Kings, Second Kings, Chronicles, you see when a king comes, we're told that, and Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned maybe 8 years or 16 years or 20-something years, and he did what was right in the sight of the Lord, or he did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. Because at the end of the day, you're going to stand alone before the one who made you and brought you to the face of the earth. And he has a purpose for bringing you to the face of the earth. So you don't come to the face of the earth and fool around and mess up your life when there's an assignment on your life.
Yeah.
So if in the course of fooling around, you lose the life, what are you going to tell him when you get there?
Now the passion is at work. Now the passion is at work. I'm here with Mama Talatu. Beautiful book, Crossroads. A beautiful love story. It's not the end though, but you must get it, so you wait in anticipation for the second, the third, and the fourth. But Mami, let's go through. Let's look up page 11 and how she began to have feelings. Zeenat began to have feelings for Sadiq and what she did about it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I think on page 12 you find that. Okay, she's in this somber mood. She's been crying. I think she's come to a point that she's been thinking about her life, and it's not going the way she envisaged. And so she's thinking, she's reflecting. What is it? Why is she? Why have things turned this way? And so Zeenat's mind went back to the reason she was praying on page 12. She was praying why her heart seemed to be breaking and had been disquieted for quite a long time now. It was Sadiq. For weeks she had been in a dilemma. She had been extremely troubled and confused about him and about herself. Why did it seem to her as if Sadiq had no respect for her convictions and forced her to go against what she believed? Why did she seem so weak-willed when it came to him? Why didn't she always stand up for what she believed, but rather would always back down for another's opinion? So she could still recollect the first time they met. So you see, here is somebody who has been brought up with principles, some ethics, but she seemed to have succumbed to pressure from Sadiq. And now she's coming to realize that this man has no respect for me, because if he respected me, he would respect my opinions. He would respect what I believe, my convictions. But he doesn't, because he always wants me to do what he wants and not what is right for me. So many times where we get to that place that, like you read at the beginning, she has this unwholesome need for approval. She needs to be approved. So you will find that that need for approval stems from home. She didn't get that.
She didn't get that.
Because if she got that while she was growing up, she doesn't need anybody to approve her. And then now when you come to know the Lord Jesus Christ, and you know that he says, I have written your name in the palms of my hand. I have loved you with an everlasting love. God loves you with an everlasting love. So if he loves you with he's even inscribed your name in the palm of his hand. God is something else, isn't he? I have loved you with an everlasting love. You don't need approval from somebody, so much so that if the person wants you to do the wrong thing, because you are seeking approval, you will do the wrong thing just to be approved by that person. No. You don't need that. God has a plan for your life, and God approves of you. All he wants is your heart and your loyalty. And if God has your heart and your loyalty, you'll go places with God.
That's right.
So here is Zeenat now sitting down to reflect. She's gone against her convictions. And this man does not respect my convictions. He does not respect my opinions. Anybody who does not respect your opinion, your ideas,
your values,
your beliefs,
it's not worthy.
Has nothing to do with you in that kind of relationship. So you got to advise yourself.
You got to watch out. You're watching us. I'm sure that one of you, as you're watching us, has something like that, similar like that. You need to watch it, because what we don't really see is that this is for a long haul. The red flags you're seeing now will not really go away. It stays, and so you're better off running than you staying on. But I love what Mama Talatu said. Be convicted. Know that God loves you. Know your place in God. Who am I in Christ? Even if you didn't have that foundation, that validation from home, you must know that once you are in Christ, you are a new creation, and he loves you just the way you are. Right. Let's go for TWB Nuggets right about now with Baba Okra.
This is TWB Nugget. Hello, welcome to TWB Nugget. Today, we'll be talking about setting realistic reading goals. One of the things I love about reading is that reading takes you to a world that no one can take you. Reading helps you to relax and unwind. Reading also is a great way to network. So imagine yourself going for this fancy gathering with top-notch people, and whatever they are talking about, you have knowledge in it because you read about it. Imagine the confidence you have to express yourself. Yes, that is what reading does for you. Reading gives you the confidence to talk about subjects that normally you wouldn't know. That is a sure great way to network, when you know what you're talking about with people who also know what you're talking about because they read. Anyway, but that's not the issue today. The issue today is that, like I said before, setting realistic reading goals. I know a lot of us want to read, but we have this desire to finish a book at a go. Reading is not like that. You can set realistic goals by reading 20 pages a day or a book a month. Be like me. I read a book a month. So by the end of the year, I have read 12 books. How cool is that? Yes. So don't be in a hurry to finish a book. Just make sure that at least a day you've read 1 page, or in 2 days you've read 2 pages. In a month, you can do the calculation yourself of how many pages you have read before you realize you finished the book. So This is a key way to set realistic reading goals. Just 1 page a day or 20 pages a day or a book a month. Yes, that is setting realistic reading goals. Well, that is our tip for today. My name is Babo Kran, and like I always say, bye for now. This is TWB Nugget.
Congratulations to Vicky. She's been so amazing. She's been able to find a niche for us Christian parents who are just looking for ways to empower and encourage our children.
Seeing kids, parents, teachers coming together to talk about books, to talk about reading. I believe that the little ones who came around today have learnt a lot.
It was amazing, and I loved the part of the kids where you could color, you could build houses out of blocks, make whatever you want.
It's a kind of a marketplace where we brought together both writers to think through and relate to the value of reading.
Today has been awesome. We've been able to introduce more people to the awesome work that Janelle has done. The 2 books were nicely patronized, and we thank you.
Coming face to face and joining many authors who have written amazing inspirational books was an exciting one for me. Also, the active involvement of children, especially at a young age, is a good turning point, especially for this particular program.
With God's help, it's going to get better and bigger. Great job, Bryce's blog, and we wish you all the best.
If you want to be part of our book club or you want your child to be part of our kiddie reading sessions, send us a text or WhatsApp message with the word book club to 055 253 5036 or 020 842 8322.
Welcome back. Thank you so much, Baba, for that nugget. It is the Writer's Blog Talk Show. I'm here with Mama Talatu Bako. We're discussing from her book, Crossroads, a beautiful love story that you must get, if not for yourself, for your child. These days, mommy, 12, 11, 13, they know about love and have stories. And so if you want to really get them started, get them this book and it will be a blessing to them. I love this chapter. In fact, I love the chapters and the chapter titles. This one is chapter 3, Give the Devil an Inch. What it means is that if you're losing up, remember we were speaking about boundaries, if you're losing up, something will happen to you. Let's read some of these pages for our listeners. Where do we start?
Okay, so we look at page 54.
54, okay. Page 54. Yes, please, we can go.
Several minutes passed, then she heard him ask her again, Zeenat, are you a virgin? Her wondering mind returned with a thud. She still struggled to answer. She had experienced sexual molestation as a child and she had never told anyone. Who could she have told anyway? That she had been abused. She didn't even want to think about that. It didn't matter anymore, she had told herself a long time ago. Over time, she had coped with the dirty feelings it had evoked inside her. She had buried the incidences over the years. Why did it have to crop up now? She sighed heavily. What a question, Zeenat muttered at last with a short laugh, then went quiet again. After a long silence, Zeenat asked, why that question? Please answer me. I need to know the person I hope to marry. Are you a virgin? He asked again. Well, she began quietly, barring one or two incidences of molestation. Yes, I am. Zeenat looked down at nothing in particular, thankful that she had made it. It was a subject she was uncomfortable with because she had never been confronted with it. Nobody had sat down with her to talk about her sexuality. Her grandmother was the only person who had tried to give her what a semblance of sexual education was. What was to Grandma very modest pieces of advice, well couched with safe phrases that would not pose any embarrassment. And to tell the truth, she had never thought about what she would do if confronted with this situation. It had never really crossed her mind. What in the world was this talk about anyway, she wondered. Her attention returned to Sadiq. Molestation? Sadiq asked, already bristling inside with anger. Who molested you? Look, I don't want to talk about something that happened many years ago when I was a little girl. Please, she urged, regretful that she even mentioned it. Why don't you want to talk about it? Because I don't want to, and I'll appreciate it very much if you would please not talk about it again. All right, fair enough, Sadiq said after a while. Then I'll come and find out. Taken aback a moment, Zeenat asked, what do you mean? Sadiq almost retorted at the same time, looking amused at her expression. I said I'll come and find out if you're a virgin. And how do you intend to do that? How else does a man discover if his woman is a virgin? Zeenat, dear. Sadiq could see how shy and uncomfortable she felt about the subject, and it gave him the answer to his question. But he was enjoying himself so much, putting her under such pressure. A long moment of silence followed, and then Zeenat spoke up rather matter-of-factly. Sadiq, I don't believe in sex outside of marriage. It is immoral. Oh, come on, Zeenat. Don't be such a prude. That's old-fashioned thinking. Isn't that what they say today?
That's what they say. That's what they say now.
So, this is 1980, for goodness sake. Nobody believes such things anymore. Besides, sex is the natural consequence of love between a man and a woman. It's inhuman to refuse to satisfy the passions that nature itself has put inside of you.
And that is the issue at hand now.
Yeah, very much so.
That pressure. So someone will ask, how far is too far?
Too far.
As a young Christian.
Somehow, parents have dropped the ball. Because you can even see in her grandma's time, it was
polished.
Yes, it was like embarrassing to talk about sex. So you had to polish it. And even then, she didn't understand until she was faced. She remembered what her grandma had told her, but then it still didn't click. Now she's faced with something she was not prepared for. And people will give you all kinds of philosophies, but the Bible warns us about the philosophies of men, the traditions of men, human beings, and all those philosophies and traditions are what the flesh loves. And the Bible talks about
the lust
of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, the pride of life. Those are the three things that we struggle with. The lust of the eyes. Everything I see, I want. Oh, it's beautiful. When the eyes see, it's beautiful. I must have it. If this person, oh, it's beautiful. I must have it. Eve saw the fruit. It was beautiful to the eyes. The lust of the flesh. Now the flesh began to talk. And these days, with access to pornography sites and whatever,
so easy.
It's so easy. Apart because you can just go on the internet and get what you want, and a lot of people are slaves to pornography. A lot of men are slaves to pornography. Maybe, you know, this peer pressure thing, one young boy
doing it
sees it and then shows it to his friends, and before you know, there's a group of friends, and they're always with one another, and all they're doing, it's pornography they're looking at, and forgetting that the mindset has been messed up. And so what the eye sees, because the eyes, they are the windows
of the soul,
to your life. And so when the eye sees, if you don't stop it immediately and you indulge it, now the flesh begins to tingle. The flesh wants it. And once the flesh wants it and the thoughts and the flesh align with one another, you will look for a way to address.
So for young people in a relationship, like I was asking earlier, you know, all these are causes, the pressures, and of course all that's happening around. But for that young woman or man in a relationship at a tender age, how far can they go?
A young woman, young man at a tender age, that's not what you need. You need to build your life. You need to know who you are. You need to find your purpose and pursue it. Ecclesiastes tells us there's a time for everything, for every matter under the sun. There's a time for you to grow. There's a time for you to develop, for your mind to develop, for you to find who you are, to know where you're going in life. And then there's a time for love. And many times people confuse these times, and when it's supposed to be time for growth and development, that is when you jump into a relationship, you don't know who you are, the other person doesn't know who they are, and of course there'll be clashes. We don't know who we are, so whatever comes, we go for it. Sex is not for boyfriend or girlfriend. Sex is not for fiance or whatever. Sex is for husband and wife. And sex is not evil. It's not bad. It is something that God himself created. And he gave it as a gift to husband and wife. God is a fun-loving God, you know. Why did he create sex? Because he knows man and woman. He's a matchmaker. He already planned all these things. Something needs to attract these man and this woman and get them together so they can form a family like Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And he needed something like that here on earth for husband, wife, and
the children.
Family. So husband loving his wife like Christ loves his church, like God loves his people. That is what marriage should be. A reflection of God's love, a reflection of his patience and his kindness, of his goodness. That is what marriage on earth should be between husband and wife. It's a reflection of the relationship in the Godhead. And so, young man, young woman, find yourself in God. Find yourself in life. You've got a long way to go. There's a time for you to find yourself. There's a time for marriage. Don't jump into a relationship when you're not ready for marriage. And by the time you're ready for marriage, you would have sorted out your life. You would have sorted out your vision for life, where you're going, your purpose. You cannot just live life and carry a woman and mess up her life because you have messed up your life and then mess up another life. And you're not just messing up that one person. If she has a child through you, you are messing up another life and another life after that. Because if it is not uprooted somewhere along the line, it will continue. So you have generations to answer to. So don't take your life frivolously. Don't take a love relationship frivolously. It should lead to marriage.
You know, some people will say, maybe I'm growing 20, 22. When we have stories like that, I'm always thinking, have you found your purpose? Have you found what God is asking you to do as a person? Because I believe that, like what Mommy said, if you found your purpose and you're living it, whatever it is that must come along will come along with it. And so I'm so excited about this word that has come to us today.
The most important thing is to build yourself in the Lord. Build yourself in the Word of God, because the Word of God is the manual for life. It's your manual for life. So God teaches you what he wants you to know about life and how to live this life. So if you don't read, you don't listen to, you don't study it, you don't meditate on it, where are you going? So you got to memorize it. You got to know it. You've got to work it out in your life. Use it. Live it. Share it.
It's amazing.
If you don't do that, then you're just beating about the bush, going where the wind blows.
Just like what happened to Zeenat. I mean, to the extent that Sadiq really attempted to try.
Yes,
to really know
if
she's a virgin. I mean, how is that? And then eventually what amuses me is the fact that he went all the way to go forward to give his life to Christ just so Zeenat can come closer. And we've heard stories about that. Faking to be Christian because of a belief so that somebody can, feel or have a sense of belonging. Really, we're just about wrapping up, and I'm sure Talatu will give us her last words, and that will be an advice to you. But make sure on your screen now you can see where you are going to be able to get copies of this, number to call, and all the details. Get a copy, read, learn. You know, some people really don't make notes. I have so many. If I give this as a gift to you, you will not like it because I have pencils and pens and colors in there, because some of the lessons jump at you, and that's why I love books. You can only get better. And for me, for my children, it is a good resource, and they are reading it, and they'll finish, and another person will read it. We'll discuss. You get what I'm saying? But really, before we end for today, let me read this epilogue. It says, "That is why I say to you, run from sex sin. No other sin affects the body as this one does. When you sin, this sin is against your own body. Haven't you yet learned that your body is the home of the Holy Spirit God gave you, and that He lives within you? Your own body does not belong to you, for God has bought you with a great price. So use every part of your body, fantastic, every part of your body, to give glory back to God, because He owns it." And this is 1 Corinthians 6:18-20 from the Living Bible. Talatu, I really want us to talk about the things you do for teens and for young women. I know you can share about that, and then you look into that camera and give us your last words. I know you're passionate about the youth, you're passionate about women, and the things that you do. Share with us about that.
So I do Feast of the Esthers, which is a ministry to young women, and it just boils from the fact that Queen Esther had the king Artaxerxes gave a feast for Esther, and I think many times young people are tempted with all the glitz and glamour, and so they want to be part of it. And sometimes in that state they may fall. So I thought of something that would give all the glitz and the glamour to young girls. So we came up with the Feast of the Esthers. It's a day when we dress up and have a feast. You dress up, but we do like 3 months of personal development training to get to that point, and then it's not we have a Queen Esther at the end of the day, and the queen, she didn't just become queen. We go through tests and
wow,
give
just
us,
like it was in the Bible.
Yeah, you go through some tests. We ask questions, especially from the book of Proverbs. We do just to build you up in the Word of God and to help you find yourself. So we do that before it culminates in the Feast of the Esthers, which is a day where we have the kind of beauty pageant.
Nice.
Kind of. But yes, the outside is important, but the inside is more important to build the inside and the outside. And then so I want to say to young people, sex is beautiful, but it has its time, and it has a context, which is in the security of marriage. And it is something that God planned, and if you say you belong to the Lord Jesus, He loves you, He wants the best for you, and He has good plans for you. The Bible says that he has good plans for you to give you a future hope and an expected end. So cling to Him, live for Him, obey Him, and walk in His love, and wait for the time that God will give you a man after His heart, and will give you a woman after His heart. Don't expect God to give you a man after His heart when you are not living for God's heart. And don't expect God to give you a woman after his heart when you are not living for God's heart. So it's if you draw near to God, he will draw near to you. So draw near to God, live for him, celebrate him, and show him off. And God will do great things in your life. And he will use you to do great things. But you must give him your heart and be loyal to him.
This is amazing. Thank you so much, Mommy, for passing through today. And make sure you're getting yourself a copy of this amazing book. I'm sure we'll have details about Mommy, her ministry, and what she's up to, so you can follow. Give her a call. She's also a seasoned counselor. She can, counsel you, your marriages, your relationships, whatever it is you're going through. But I've picked something from her just about now. I'm showing Jesus off. Show God off, right? And as you do so, his light is shining through you. You will attract that one person that is designed for you. Once again, Mommy, thank you for passing through. I want to say a very big thank you to La Palm Royal Beach Hotel for hosting us today. And of course, Cody's Fashion and Beauty GH for my wonderful makeup. I'm saying a very big thank you to Eloy Designs for my beautiful outfit. And of course, special thanks to our media partners, Sunny FM and Sunny TV. Thank you to Challenge Enterprises of Ghana, Ako Books Audio, Anyedu, Site Farm, and a host of others. We love you. We appreciate you. I'm back next week, God willing, with another exciting edition. I'm Vicky Amwa. Remember, the writer's blog. Read, write, indulge your mind.
Hi, I'm Vicky. I love books and enjoy reading. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is to read. If I go for a run, I listen to an audiobook. In my leisure moments, I read whilst enjoying some good music. Are you an avid reader, or you're not learning how to read? Maybe you used to enjoy reading, but somehow it has become a thing of the past. Come on this journey with my guests and I as we dive into various books and themes these books talk about. Every week, I speak to various authors who are behind life-transforming books, as well as promote various stakeholders within the publishing industry. The Kiddie Zone segment on the show is meant specifically to ignite reading interest in your child. Watch the writer's blog on this station this and every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. and on Sunny 88.7 FM every Saturday at 1 p.m. This program is powered by Reveal Multimedia and supported by the writer's blog. Read, write, indulge your mind.
Thank you for watching the Writer's Blog on this channel. If you want to sponsor, partner, advertise, or have your book reviewed on the show, call or send a text or WhatsApp message to, or send an email to, follow us on social media. This program is powered by Reveal Multimedia. Join us next week for another exciting edition. The Writer's Blog. Read, write, indulge your mind.